Hey, uh, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be very brief. I know eventually a lot of y'all go back and watch this video from the beginning in its entirety. Man, I apologize for not being able to do these videos as consistent as I would like. Of course, you all know we still have a couple of issues here in Louisiana with the reopening of the state. The line of work that I do is still, it's kind of picking back up. I'm just going to, keep trusting in the Creator. But I want to talk about a couple of things real briefly, and hopefully we can get some feedback from you all's comments. You all know me. If you all been following me, again, you all know I try to be the voice of reason. I try to be the voice that's going to ask real serious questions. I'm not led by what they tell me on the television. I listen to what they say, but then I go and analyze and I do research. And what we're seeing right now is a push by the media to create chaos amongst Americans, especially using us as black people as the cannon fodder. Now, lately, we have been aware that throughout this country there have been massive protests in regards to police brutality, and rightfully so. It was all spurred off with the situation with George Floyd up there in Minneapolis, where he was brutally tortured before he was murdered. And again, the protests are rightfully warranted. But let me ask y'all a question. How many black folks did not already know that police brutality is a serious issue that we face every day? We already knew that. Now, I'm going to be real. There's other people of other races that get killed by the police. Why aren't they showing being blasted all over the news like it is with black people? Maybe it's because the media can't get the ratings or the traction that they want to promote an agenda. Basically, what you're seeing is the weaponization of these videos by the media in order to promote a further political agenda. Literally, that's what's going on. Now, recently, I want to ask this other question. Now, this is where a lot of black people, I'm going to probably lose a lot of favor with a lot of black people, but I really don't care. We're going to look at the situation that happened in Atlanta, Georgia, a couple of days ago with his name, Rashawn Brooks. And I have to ask the question, as a black man, what part do you play in your own death? Now, I'm just keep it real. Again, I'm not finna sugarcoat nothing. I'm just point out facts that nobody really seems to be looking at. In the tragic death of Rashawn Brooks at a Wendy's in Atlanta, in the Wendy's parking lot, where he was shot in the back by this police officer, I have to ask the question, what part did he play in his death? Many people get DWIs every day, man, and they live to tell the story. Now, in this situation, that it could have went two ways, because first of all, no matter what he did to facilitate it or escalate it, because I'm gonna just be real, Brother Brooks escalated that situation, y'all, whether y'all want to hear it or not. Go back and look at the entire video. Don't just look at the part where they were wrestling, and he grabbed the taser, and then he ran off with the taser, and that's when he was shot. You got to go back and look at the point where, first and foremost, they tried to put the handcuffs on him. When they tried to put them handcuffs on him, he literally escalated that situation. Now, don't get me wrong. That does not mean they should have shot him in the back, because, first of all, the police already had his car. They already had his information. They could have easily just let him run. Hell, he was drunk. He was going to get tired. You see what I'm saying? They easily could have at least just let him go and came back and picked up his car. They could have towed his car, anything. There was a way that the police could have de-escalated the situation. But when that young brother, man, when they tried to put them handcuffs on him, what was the first thing he did? He jerked away and started wrestling with the police. A lot of people don't want to hear that, and guess what? The media try to go out their way not to show you that the first moments of that altercation. Why is that? Because they want you to think that here it is, just another poor black man gunned down by the police, which is 50% true. It's 50-50 true. He was gunned down by the police unnecessarily. But at what point did he escalate that altercation? You see what I'm saying? I said that to say this. I'm not telling nobody to get on their knees and beg or, yes or mouse or please don't shoot. But you have a better chance of getting away with getting away from these crooked cops, first and foremost, if you're not committing crimes. In a lot of these situations, man, I'm just keep it real again. We had this discussion in another video when it came to Ahmaud Arbery. And all I'm simply saying is if you don't put yourself in a situation where you are out committing criminal activity, you are less likely to get shot by the police. The police just ain't gonna run up on me, sit up on my porch, man, and shoot me for nothing. But if I'm out there passing a fake $20 bill, if I'm just barely just trespassing innocently on private property, or if I turn around and start wrestling with the police in a simple DUI arrest, don't that elevate and escalate my chances of being murdered by the police dramatically? So I always have to ask the question, at what point does a person play in their own death? Not just with the police, man, but period, here in our society. We as black people, man, we love to talk about Black Lives Matter when it comes down to somebody getting shot by the police. But every damn day in our neighborhood, somebody is getting shot by another black person. Don't those Black Lives Matter also? Half the murder, I put it like this, 3/4 of the murders here in Shreveport, Louisiana are unsolved, where we've had babies being murdered. Here, I'm talking about when I say babies, I'm talking about babies under the age of 14 months being murdered, man, by other black people. Don't those babies deserve justice also? Don't those little precious Black Lives Matter also? So when you use the term Black Lives Matter, you have to include all black lives. You just can't say it's Black Lives only matter when they're getting taken by the police. When hell, we kill more people across America in one day than the police probably have combined in the last 30 years. But nobody's saying Black Lives Matter in the hood. What you have is a bunch of over-aggressive police who get their training in military tactics from people like the IDF. Then you put in these people, these scary people, most of the police on drugs, because one of the things that I believe what we can do as citizens in your own city, again, first and foremost, you have to get a citizens review board, because you cannot expect the police to police themselves. That shit is not going to work. But you get an independent citizens review board. Now you get people put on that board who you know are not going to be compromised, or who you know will not sell out to the powers that be. But one of the most important things that we can demand to know is what's in the system of these police officers at the times of these shootings. Now it is well known that the great deal of these police officers are on antidepressants. Believe it or not, police are literally one of the highest groups of people taking antidepressants in America. Also, we know that a great deal of these police officers are on steroids. Yes, just here in Shreveport, just last year, we had about 5-6 police officers get caught in a steroid ring where they was buying steroids and selling them amongst themselves. What are the main side effects of steroids and antidepressants? Violent or aggressive behavior. So now you notice, soon as a black man or a person, period, gets murdered by the police, the first thing they do is take the heat off the police, and they're going to tell you what the victim had in his system. Oh, well, he had marijuana, he had cocaine, but they never tell you what these police officers have in their system. So what we're going to try to do here in Shreveport, and I'm going to try to, there's people right now trying to get legislation passed to get a citizens review board and other things, but one of the main things that I want to push is I want to know what's in these police officers' system when they kill somebody. Think about this. The police department, the police work for us as citizens. Their job is to work for us. Us being their employees, don't we have a right to know what's in their system? Because again, we've had about 5-6 police officers here to get fired and face criminal charges for drugs last year. So you got a bunch of already overly aggressive police officers that's on antidepressants or steroids. That's a perfect storm for violence in your neighborhood. So what you should do in the process of demanding this legislation, banning those chokeholds, banning any type of for non-violent offenses, police shouldn't even have to pull their service revolvers. So if a police officer is involved in in shooting of somebody who was committing a non-violent or non-threatening crime, of course they should be facing charges automatically, second-degree murder, if nothing else, manslaughter charges. But most importantly, we have to know what's in these police officers in these systems, man. Now, if y'all want to, man, go and join in this conversation. I love to hear you all comments on that. But again, we just got to keep it real, man. We have to hold people accountable for their actions. Just like we want to hold the police accountable for their actions, we also have to hold some of these young men accountable for escalating a situation that in a lot of cases did not have to be. Now, it's totally different in George Floyd's case, although again, if Mr. Floyd would have never taken that counterfeit $20 bill into that place, the police never would have gotten called and he might be alive. But when you see the way that they killed him, it's horrific. That was nothing more than cruel and unusual torture and punishment, man. For him to lay on that man's neck for almost 9 minutes like that as the life just oozed out of his body. But again, in this latest case in Atlanta, I have to ask questions. I am not convinced at all that those police had the right to fire or to use deadly force. But that brother, Rayshard Brooks, again, black people, don't be mad at me. The truth is what it is. He escalated that situation totally. Because again, the police, I guess you could say they were trying to be cordial or whatever, even to the point where they went to put the handcuffs on him. When they went to put the handcuffs on him, he jerked away and became aggressive towards the police, which eventually led to his death. We can't sugarcoat shit, man. We have to start teaching our young men. Not only are the police, you know what I'm saying, quick to shoot black people, but stop giving them a reason to. Stop giving them a reason to. You know, don't give them a reason to. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to just tell my son, hey, you got to be scared of the police. No, fuck that. Because in reality, my son know he has a better chance of getting murdered by one of these Negroes walking around here than he does the police. Literally. And that's the truth. You have a better chance getting killed by somebody you know or somebody in your neighborhood than you do the police. Literally. We don't want to accept that fact, but the truth is what it is. Also, we have to, again, ask the question, why is the media steadily harping on this? They're not telling us as black people something that we don't already know. See, we've been knowing that the police been killing us, man. We've been knowing that. This is nothing new to you and I. But maybe there's probably about 10 white people who've been hiding under a rock for the last 50 years. They probably don't know how bad it is, you know, with this police brutality. But we as black people, there's no way in the hell we can say we don't know. Again, they're showing us these things because, I'm going to just be real, it's called the weaponization of the media. They're showing you this because there's an election season coming up. Now, the Democrats, y'all remember when Nancy Pelosi and them Democrats pulled that stunt, that photo op, where they all kneeled down and had the kente cloth on them? Yeah, this is being used to weaponize and galvanize emotions for the upcoming election. You think the media and these white folk, these legislators really give a goddamn about black people losing their lives? No, they don't. Because guess what? That shit, it does not touch them. They don't have to worry about being pulled over at night, you know, on the side of a dark-ass road and wondering if you're going to go home safe or not. Now, they don't have to worry about that, but what they are doing, they're using this as a means to galvanize support for their political agenda. And other sources are using this to create division, because I don't know if y'all paying attention or not. The more and more peaceful protest rally you're having more and more now anti-Black Lives Matter rally starting to pop up. So you're looking at a situation for a perfect storm for a race war to break out, and at the same time, it gives the government the perfect storm opportunity to crack down and declare martial law. Now, again, I'm not going to sit up here and say, give yourself, act like some old sorry coon that's on your knees begging, please, sir, don't kill me. First and foremost, don't put yourself in a situation to be considered as an aggressor towards the police. Quit committing some of these crimes. Man, like I say, I'm a 3-time convicted felon, drug dealer, man. Even though I struggle around here, I be goddamn if I go back out there in the streets, man, to sell drugs when I know the possible outcome. There's only going to be two outcomes. I'm either get killed by one of these Negroes or the police going to come and get me and I might be killed by them. You know what I'd rather do, man? I'd rather go without, struggle, and do whatever I can legitimately to take care of myself. But I'm not involved in no kind of criminal activity. And I advise other young black men on a day-to-day basis, man, there's something you can do. If nothing more, man, two of y'all come together and hustle up on a lawnmower. Shit, you could come together, and in the course of a week, you could buy almost $150 worth of loud marijuana, that exotic marijuana. Why can't you take that $150 and buy a lawnmower? Walk around your neighborhood and make $25, $50. You make $25 a yard at least. You know, what if you cut 10 yards? That's $250 a week. And you ain't got to go out here in these streets, putting yourself in the line of fire among some of these crazy-ass Negroes and even crazier cops. You know, there's always a way around something. And for every problem, there's a solution. The solution is teach your children, man, to, in a sense, quote-unquote, respect authority, not to fear authority or to submit like a coward to authority. But teach your children, man, to respect authority. First and foremost, we as grown-ups have to show them the right example. Because my son, you know, my son was 2 years old, 2 years old, and 4 years old. He saw me get arrested. I'm talking about SWAT teams, FBI, and all that behind some marijuana. And I made a promise that would never happen again. Now my son knows. Even at 10 years old, my son knows right now. He can go knock on one of the neighbor doors and ask them, "Could I clean up your yard for $5 or $10?" You see what I'm saying? I'm teaching him the value of hard work, honest work, which will basically take away a lot of the chances, will decrease the chance of him running into one of these crooked ass police. So again, let's not drink the Kool-Aid. Let's not fall for the bait that the media are doing. Because right now, what they're basically doing, they're race baiting. They're baiting us into an emotional frenzy, and as you can see, it's kind of backfiring because these peaceful protests now are being met with violent anti-Black Lives Matter protests. And they're not going to stop, man, until they really get what they want. And at the same time, let me ask y'all a question. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but are you aware that COVID-19 has not gone anywhere? And if anything, it is actually increasing the number of cases. You're seeing a surge. So now you out there protesting in these streets. And who is COVID-19 basically affecting? Who's dying the most from COVID-19? Black people. So you got all these black people out here in the streets now, and nobody. It's like they forgot that the virus even exists. So now, in a couple of months, you're gonna see another surge and another wave, and who's it going to affect the most? So we have to really start using our mind and start thinking, man, and stop letting this goddamn TV, stop letting this media get us out there head first. You know what I'm saying? And then we wind up suffering in the long run because, again, if you're paying attention, they steadily, heavily militarizing the police. The police are ready to deal with anything that we bring to them. The police is ready to deal with them. Our whole thing is let's deal with them through legislation. You know what I'm saying? And most importantly, teach your children, man, teach yourself common sense. Do not escalate a situation that does not have to be escalated. Quit committing some of these crimes, and you have a less chance of running into some of these crooked ass cops with these itchy trigger fingers. Stay at home, and if you're protesting, practice social distancing. Because again, I don't know if you're aware, but the cases are resurging again. And what if this virus is mutated now, and it's even more deadly killer? So we have to watch all those things. And I thank y'all for joining us, man. And again, we're going to try to keep doing these videos, because again, like right now, you know, I don't have any jobs lined up for this week. So this week here, I'm gonna try to do quite a few of these videos. But most importantly, man, I need you all's feedback. I need you all's comment. I need you all to keep hitting that like button. I need you all to keep making sure that you subscribe, because YouTube, again, is blocking my channel just as Facebook are. They're heavily censoring my channel. You know, basically by keeping my views down. But again, with y'all help, we can overcome mountains. Also, if you can, hit the Cash App, man. Make a little small donation. Help us take care of some of the things that we got going on around here, and that way I can bring these videos to y'all on a more consistent basis. The Cash App, the cash tag is up in the description. The title section. Also, again, most importantly though, keep hitting that thumbs up and keep sharing these videos. Tell your friends about it, because I'm not always right and you're not always wrong, and I'm not always wrong, you're not always right. But we can come together, man, and have dialogue, and that's why I do these videos. So again, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. Also, if you can, throw a little $5-6 on the cash tag. It would help us go a long way in continuing these videos. Until y'all see me on another one of these videos, this your boy Rob Thomas Jr. saying be blessed.